Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG Build Guide Edition. Today I'm ready to drop on you my third iteration of my Hail Hydra Runemaster for last Epoch, of course stronger than ever. As always, I will cover every single facet of the build. Everything is timestamped in the description below if you need to bounce around. Let's not waste any time and jump right into this. Starting off with some gameplay. Now what you are looking at right now is almost 500 corruption. And the skills we are using for our Hail Hydra is Flame Rush. We are using Frost Wall spec'd into Fire, Flame Ward, Runic Invocation, and Runebolt. So I've switched out using Fireball. Fireball is what I normally use for this build. The previous two iterations were Fireball, but I do like Runebolt better. It pierces enemies. We don't have to worry about mana, which is so nice. And I'll explain that during the skill section. It is just so much better. So pretty simple. You put up Flame Wall, and then you use Flame Rush through it. You automatically trigger your Flame Ward when you are stunned, and the Hydras just absolutely tear people up. And you're going to be casting them all the time, and again, you don't have to worry about mana. Let me show you some single targets at this range. Exiled Mage. You cannot get away from them. Eaten alive. Empowered Nemesis. Poison. You dead. Shade of Orbis. And on fights like this, you got to remember you're making your Hydra box as you come out of your Flame Rush. So you kind of got to time and position your movement skill. And then obviously you are manually casting it as well every 8 seconds. Ooh. Come here, Shade of Orbis. You, sir, are dead. One more. Abomination. Where'd all your life go? Dead. Let me show you how to recreate this build. So now let's break down the skills, starting with Flame Ward, and I'll try and show you the order in which you want to take these points. Now what you want to do first is you want to come up and you want to grab this node right here, Astonish, which is going to cast Flame Ward when you are stunned. This is a defensive spell and it gives you some offensive properties. So basically how it works is when you are stunned, this automatically triggers. It's pretty simple. You're then going to come to the right and you're going to get one additional charge. So if you are stunned twice, it'll trigger twice. You're then going to come down here and get 40% less hit damage when you have Flame Ward up, and that is with Barrier. You then want to come down and take Dilation, which is going to give you 36% duration. Then come up, get Infusion, 250% more damage to fire. And I had 1 point left over, so I put it in base fire. Okay, that's Flame Ward. Moving over to Runebolt. This is the new skill that I have added and switched for the build. We used to use Fireball, but Runebolt just works better. First thing you want to do is come to the left and give yourself some cast speed, haste, and haste duration, and then turn this into a strictly fire skill. You're then going to come straight down and get 100% mana when you hit an enemy. This is going to be your mana generator. If you feel like you're running out of mana, that's because you're not hitting enemies. You're going to get 12 mana every time you hit an enemy. And then you're going to come down and get Rune Weaver, which is mana regen and mana back as ward. It's also going to give you base crit chance for your Runic Invocations and multiplicative damage to your Armor Shred. Now, if you don't have any Armor Shred on your gear, I would put these 3 points right here into Armor Shred chance, okay? If you do have Armor Shred on your gear, which I do, I put it into extra projectiles. Moving over to Frost Wall. What you want to do is you need to turn Frost Wall into a Fire Wall. And you're going to brand the invaders. Okay, this needs to be a fire skill. You're also going to take multiplicative damage to enemies that are chilled. Okay. You are then going to come down here to and get Ward, haste and frenzy, cleanse, and you're going to be getting mana cost and damage per second of existence. Okay. You're then going to come up here. Frostbite chance is now ignite chance. You're going to get more ward when enemies pass through it, and it is going to shoot your rune bolts. Has to be a fire skill. Moving over to Flame Rush, our movement skill that we could use every 2.9 seconds. This is required to be a lightning skill. It's going to be lightning, fire, fire for our Hydra box. So Flame Rush, first thing you want to do is come down for Frenzy. You're going to get ward, and then you turn it into a lightning skill. You then want to come down here and snag this node, literally the most important node for the entire build. You cast Runic Invocation when you exit Flame Rush. As long as you have enough mana, this is going to be making your Hydra boxes like crazy. You're then going to come up, less damage taken, mana efficiency and cooldown, speed and range. Now, you have 2 final points for this build, and you don't really need them. You could put it anywhere. I threw it in Emberwake, and I threw it in Blazeborn. That's where I put the final 2 points, but the options are yours. Last but not least, Runic Invocation, which I currently have 26 points put into. What you want to do is come to the left and down and grab these 2 nodes first. This is mana refunded, and what this is going to do is give you a mutable order, which means the skills on your bar is going to be the order of the runes. So we have lightning, fire, fire. That's how we always make our Hydra box. You then want to come up here, multiplicative and multiplicative damage bonuses to your Hydra box. You then want to come up here and get 24 base fire damage for your Hydra box. You then want to come down here. This is Transcriber of Power. This is going to give you base spell damage and cast speed, and it's going to give you a 9% base crit chance to your Hydra box. Now, the final 5 points, I put 1 here in elemental penetration per intelligence, and I put 4 down here in increased cooldown recovery. Really, what you are doing is you are making your Hydra boxes from Flame Ward, and you want to be able to manually cast them. But Author of Arcana gives it a 12-second cooldown, so these 4 points bring it down to 8 seconds. So you can manually cast one every 8 seconds, and then you could drop one with Flame Ward every 2.9 seconds. Those are the skills. So now let's break down the passives. At the time of recording, my Runemaster is level 100, so every point is where it should be. For Mage, we have 1 into Scholar, 1 into Elementalist, 8 into Arcanist, 5 into Arcane Flames, which gives you 5% multiplicative damage to ignited enemies, and 5 into Knowledge of Destruction, just for some crit and crit multiplier. That's it for the base tree. Under the Runemaster tree, we have 8 into Sphere of Protection, which can give you less hit damage or less damage taken to ignited, shocked, and chilled enemies, which enemies will be all 3 of those. We have 1 into Unsealed Mana, 6 into Arcane Focus, 6 into Transcendence, which is going to give you ward per second and more ward per second if you have over 60 intelligence. 8 into Never Late, one of the best nodes. This is critical chance on next spell and spell damage, and crit chance bonus for 30 mana cost, which is Hydra box. 2 into Rune of Dilation, more cast speed after you use your traversal. For this build, we are using a staff. Normally, I'm using a wand, but the body armor we're using needs a staff. But this is still going to give you, for only 6 points, 24% cast speed. But if you do need to pull points anywhere, I would pull them from here. 5 into Decree of the Burning Wind, double the effect of the Raw Rune or Frost Wall, damage bonus for rares, very important. 8 into Arcane Inscriptions, is going to give you cooldown recovery speed as well. Now, I do have 6 points into Rune Stones, and for this build, we're using Life, we're using Ward, and we're using Endurance. So if you have 300 mana and you're at 60 endurance, you don't need these 6 points. I needed them. 1 into Inferno, this gives you your fire rune ward. 7 into Doom for some base spell and multiplicative damage to branded enemies. And 4 into Jagged Veil, more crit damage per 100 ward versus bosses, up to 20. Okay, so that is that tree. Moving over to Source. We have 5 in Calculated Destruction, increased spell crit chance, 5 in Arcane Momentum, 6 into Essence, which is going to give you a boost to your movement speed and spell damage per Arcane Momentum, which we will have 5 stacks. 1 into Pyromancer, 3 into Swirling Snow. This is where you're going to get your chill chance. And 5 into Lavamancer, Fire Penetration and Fire Leech. Those are the passives. Moving over to last Epoch tools, where we're going to break down the blessings, idols, and gear, starting with blessings. Now on here, we have gone into survival. We have spell damage leeched as health, critical strike avoidance, endurance, physical resistance, and mana. And the magic number for mana here is you want to get over 300. I'm currently sitting at 354. Moving over to idols. The reason why you want to have over 300 mana is because these idols are going to give you double the bonus if you have more than 300. So this is increased fire and ward retention. We are also using Throne of Ambition. This is going to give you up to 40% multiplicative damage to your fire damage and armor per stack of ambition when you are fighting a boss or a rare enemy. And then on here, I just continue to put mana and health idols. Now, moving over to gear, there is an item that is absolutely required for this build. It is a common drop. It is unbelievably easy to get, and that is the Box of Hydra. And this is literally a level 36 item. When I was making this build, I was looking to see which one I had, and I just had a 3 LP laying around in my stash. Very easy to get, but it is required. It's what this build is based around. Now, we are also using a foundation body armor, and this is going to give you up to 36% multiplicative damage when you are using a staff. So you need to make sure you are using a staff. It's also going to give you 3% multiplicative damage per attunement point you have. So for this build, weirdly as a mage, you want to stack attunement and intelligence. For our staff, we are using a dragon staff for the +1 to skill level and 95 to spell damage. And we're using critical strike multiplier, spell, fire penetration. And then for your 4th stat, it's your choice. You can go chill chance. I put stun chance. You can go blind. You can go slow. Okay. So other items: helmet, intelligence, level to Runic Invocation, amulet, crit multiplier, spell, health, belt, fire damage, cleanse, cooldown, recovery speed, health, boots, attunement, movement speed, cooldown, recovery, health, ring, fire, int, health, ring, fire, attunement, resistances, gloves, intelligence, attunement, double health, and that is all the items. Now for this ring, I made it intelligence. You want as much attunement as you can, but you want to have at least 60 intelligence, because of in the passive tree right here for Transcendence, you get additional plus 24 ward per second if you have at least 60 intelligence. So normally what I tell people is shoot for 60 intelligence and then as much attunement as humanly possible. That is the gear. So now let's talk about leveling tips and tricks. This is not a leveling guide, but kind of get you pointed in the right direction. Now for me, it doesn't matter if I'm a sorcerer, spellblade, or a runemaster. I level the exact same way using 3 skills. I use Fireball, and I come over to the right and basically try and make the skill free. And you can come over here and get some added damage as well. So I use Fireball. I use Elemental Nova, and you guessed it, in its fire version. And more importantly, I use Teleport. And the reason why I like Teleport is you could take this part of the skill tree right here that automatically makes Novas. So you are teleporting, making Elemental Nova, you can manually cast Elemental Nova, and you are shooting fireballs. Now, the reason why I like leveling Source, Spellblade, and Runemaster with fire is because there's so many good low-level uniques that are spec'd into fire. So it just makes it very, very easy to have leveling gear with fire. And those are the 3 best skills that I like using: Fireball, Teleport, and Nova. All right, everyone, that's the build guide. What do you think of my new and improved Hail Hydra Runemaster? Is there anything I missed? Is there anything I can do to take this to the next level? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please like, share, and subscribe, of course, only if you think I've earned it. And if I haven't earned it, I'm going to work harder for you. Check out the Discord. We're approaching 4,500 members. We do a game giveaway or merch giveaway every 2 weeks for just being a member of my community. And the current game giveaway is Last Epoch. Best way to support is Patreon. I'm done. Hopefully you were entertained or at least learned something. Aaron, out.